Welcome to Infidelity Truths. Before we dive into today's gripping story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more thrilling stories just for you. Let's begin. I came home early from work thinking I could surprise Liana. We'd been together for almost 3 years, sharing a small apartment in the heart of the city. I was constantly swamped with projects as a software developer at a rising startup, buried under deadlines and meetings. Liana was balancing a part-time job as a teaching assistant while wrapping up her degree. Despite our crazy schedules, we always made time for each other. Or so I thought. Sure, we had our little fights, but nothing that ever made me question us. Nothing that made me think everything was a lie. That changed last Tuesday. I had a meeting canceled unexpectedly and for once was free to leave work early. I figured I'd pick up Liana's favorite Thai food on the way home. Pad see ew with extra veggies and give us a quiet night together. It had been a rough couple of months, and I thought a little surprise could help us reconnect. I pulled up to our building, heart light for the first time in weeks. I climbed the stairs with the food in hand, already picturing her smile. But when I reached our door, something felt wrong. It was slightly ajar. Liana never left the door unlocked. A knot twisted in my stomach. I told myself it was probably nothing. Maybe she'd stepped out to grab the mail or just forgotten a rush. But I stepped inside carefully, quietly. Then I heard voices, Liana's and another man's. At first, I assumed it was a study session or a friend stopping by, but then I heard her say, voice sharp and mocking, "He has no idea." I froze. The man replied, "Yeah, he's always working. He wouldn't notice even if we kissed in front of him. And if he did, I'd just twist it around. He's easy to play." My hands clenched around the takeout bags. I stood there, heart hammering, as Liana added, "It's almost pathetic how much he trusts me. He thinks I'm just stressed about school. I barely have to try." They laughed. I felt sick. I didn't barge in. I didn't yell. I just backed out slowly, heart shattered, pride bleeding. I let the door close behind me and walked away from the life I thought we had. I crashed at my friend Damien's place, someone Liana didn't know too well. I didn't answer her calls. I didn't respond to the texts that poured in the next day. I blocked her on everything: phone, social media, email. I didn't want explanations. I didn't want her words anymore. I had heard enough. She didn't stop. Messages came through mutual friends. She even showed up at my office. One text read, "Please, just talk to me." I can explain. It's not what you think. I love you. But it was what I thought. I'd heard her own words. She wasn't just cheating on me physically. She was tearing me down behind my back, laughing at my trust, ridiculing my love. And that's what destroyed me the most. I kept quiet. I didn't tell our friends. I didn't need the sympathy. The betrayal itself was enough humiliation. A week later, I found out who the guy was. Not some stranger, not a classmate. It was Bryce, a colleague at my office. I'd seen him around, even made small talk in the break room. I remembered Liana mentioning him before, casually slipping his name into conversation like it meant nothing. She even once suggested we invite him for drinks. I thought nothing of it. Turns out he had a girlfriend, too. Just another selfish player in their little game. I considered confronting him. But what would that accomplish? He wasn't worth it. Neither of them were. Then, one evening, Liana showed up at Damien's apartment. She had figured it out. She was crying, trembling, begging to talk. Damien looked at me. I nodded. Let her in. She stood there, mascara streaked, voice cracking, whispering things like, it was a mistake. And it didn't mean anything, and I was confused. She never truly admitted it at first, just danced around it, still trying to manipulate the story. Until I said, I heard you, Liana. I was there. She went pale. The words stopped. Reality hit her. I opened the door and told her, we're done. She collapsed in the hallway, sobbing, begging me to forgive her, swearing she'd change. But I walked away. I left her there crying on the floor, and as much as it hurt, deep, soul-crushing pain, there was a strange peace in that moment, like ripping off a bandage that had been holding back infection. I was done being played. After that night, the messages stopped. Maybe she gave up. Maybe she realized I was gone for good. Either way, I didn't care. But there was one part left: work. At first, I thought about quitting. I didn't want to see Bryce's face. But then I asked myself, why should I be the one to leave? Why should I let them take my career too? I stayed. I kept my head high, acted like nothing happened. Bryce, on the other hand, avoided me like the plague. He wouldn't make eye contact, barely spoke in meetings. He knew. I didn't lash out. I didn't yell. I went to HR instead. Quietly, professionally, I brought every shred of proof I had. Not just for me, but because his girlfriend also worked in the building. This wasn't just drama. It was a violation of company ethics and human decency. Word spread fast. His girlfriend found out before HR even made their move. By the end of the week, Bryce was gone. Fired. Reputation wrecked. And I didn't feel triumphant. Just at peace. It wasn't about revenge, it was about taking my power back. A few weeks passed. I thought the pain would linger longer, but I healed faster than I expected. I started focusing on myself, on my own growth, on the relationships that didn't destroy me. I realized I had put Liana on a pedestal she never deserved. I had ignored the warning signs because I wanted to believe we were solid. But we hadn't been in a long time. I don't know if I'll ever forgive her. Maybe I don't need to. What matters is I've let it go. I've moved forward, stronger, wiser. I know now. Never again will I let someone treat me like I'm disposable. And that lesson, that freedom, that's mine to keep. In the weeks that followed, life began to settle into a new rhythm. I poured myself into my work, clocking long hours, not out of necessity, but by choice. Work became my escape, my therapy. Every line of code I wrote, every bug I fixed, every successful sprint review, it all reminded me that I still had control over something. My personal life had imploded, but at least my career was still mine. People around the office noticed the change. I wasn't the cheerful, laid-back guy anymore. I was quiet, focused, and efficient. Some thought I was just going through burnout. Others suspected something more, but no one asked. And I preferred it that way. As for Jordan, the colleague who'd betrayed me, he was nothing but a ghost now. No one mentioned him. His desk was cleared out by HR one afternoon while I was in a meeting. He didn't come back to collect his things. They were shipped to him. The girl he had been dating in the building. She left shortly after the news broke, transferred to another company across town. I heard she was devastated, blindsided. I knew the feeling all too well. One night, about a month after everything had happened, I found myself walking past the little Thai restaurant where I used to pick up Amira's favorite dish, pad ki mao with extra basil. I stood there for a while, the neon signs flickering over me like ghosts of the past. I didn't go in. I just stood there, letting the memories wash over me and fade into the night. Eventually, I did start talking to people again. My friends, my family. At first, it was just small talk, polite laughter, half-hearted hangouts. But over time, I found myself opening up. I told a close friend the full story, what I heard that night, what I saw, how I left without saying a word. She didn't interrupt, just listened. And when I was done, she looked at me and said, "You didn't just walk away, Noah. You chose yourself. That takes strength." I didn't realize how badly I needed to hear that. One evening, while at a work mixer, I found myself in conversation with someone new. Her name was Liana. She was smart, witty, and had this calm presence about her that felt grounding. We talked about books, about design, about the weird way tech culture glorifies burnout. We didn't talk about past relationships. Not yet. And that was okay. I wasn't looking to fall in love again, not anytime soon. But for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel broken. Amira never reached out again. Not after that last confrontation at my friend's apartment. Maybe she finally realized I meant what I said, or maybe her pride got in the way. Either way, I never heard from her again. No calls, no emails, no dramatic letters apologizing for her mistakes. Just silence. And honestly, that was the best gift she could have given me. There are still days when I think about what happened. Brief flashes of that night, those words, the betrayal. But they don't sting the way they used to. They've become echoes, quiet reminders of a storm I survived. Looking back now, I understand something I didn't before. Sometimes closure doesn't come in the form of an apology. Sometimes it comes from standing up, walking away, and refusing to let the pain define you. I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. I'm just wiser. I know now what I deserve, and I won't settle for anything less again. Months passed. By now, the chaos that had once engulfed my life was a distant memory. Still real, still sharp in places, but no longer defining. I had rebuilt my routine, poured my energy into healthy habits, early morning jogs, better meals, actual sleep. The apartment felt different too. It wasn't filled with shadows anymore. I'd repainted the walls, changed the furniture, rearranged everything until it no longer looked like our place, but my place. And then one day, out of the blue, I ran into Liana again. It was at a tech conference downtown. I didn't expect to see her, but when I spotted her across the room, that calm presence I remembered hit me like a wave. She was giving a short talk on sustainable UX design. Confident, poised, brilliant. After her session ended, I waited for the crowd to clear before I approached her. Noah, she said, smiling. Didn't expect to see you here. Same, I replied. You crushed that talk. We grabbed coffee afterward, nothing fancy, just a quiet spot a few blocks from the venue. We talked about work, upcoming projects, and books we'd been reading. It was easy, comfortable, the kind of conversation that made you forget about time. Eventually, the topic drifted. To be honest, she said, stirring her drink, you seemed like you were carrying a lot the last time we talked. I didn't want to pry. I nodded slowly. I was. My life was sort of on fire back then. She waited, didn't push. And so, for the first time since it all happened, I told someone the full story without bitterness in my voice. Not to vent, not to relive the pain, just to share. And Liana listened, not with pity, not with judgment, but with presence. When I was done, she simply said, you didn't deserve that, but you handled it with more grace than most people ever could. Her words didn't feel like sympathy. They felt like understanding. From that day on, we kept in touch. Slowly, naturally. No expectations. No pressure. Just two people who had survived their own storms, finding comfort in the quiet space between. Weeks turned into more coffee dates, then dinners, then walks through the city at night where we'd talk about everything from childhood dreams to worst dates. One night, as we sat watching the skyline from a rooftop bar, she turned to me and said, you know, you've got this look in your eyes now. What kind of look? Like someone who knows where they've been and knows where they're going. And maybe she was right. I wasn't rushing into anything. I wasn't trying to fill the void Amira left behind. What I was doing, what we were doing, was something different, something honest, built not on promises, but on mutual respect and understanding. One evening, as we stood by my apartment building after another long walk, she hesitated before speaking. You don't have to answer now, she said softly, but do you think you're ready to let someone in again? I looked at her, really looked. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel the urge to run. I reached for her hand and said, yeah, I think I am. Closing note. They say heartbreak changes you. Maybe it does. But if you survive it, truly survive it, you come out stronger, smarter, and more aware of your worth. That's what happened to me. I didn't just move on. I leveled up. And this time, I'm building something real. From the ground up. Being broken isn't the end of your story. Sometimes it's just the beginning of the better one. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss another story like this. Thank you, my amazing subscribers. Wow, what a journey. If you've made it to the end of this story, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Your support means everything to me. Every time you watch, like, and comment, you're helping keep this channel alive and growing. And trust me, the best is yet to come. I see all your comments. I feel your love, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Your thoughts and feedback inspire me to create even more powerful stories. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. More shocking twists, emotional journeys, and real life lessons are on the way, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Together, we're building an incredible community, and I'm so grateful to have you on this journey with me. Stay strong, stay inspired, and remember, sometimes life's greatest lessons come from the most unexpected moments. See you in the next story.